We're back.
We're back. Welcome to another exciting episode of Group Chat After Dark. It's actually dark outside.
It is, and it is after dark now. So
Yeah,
this is real time. Really happening.
We're
keeping
officially-
all awake with our terrible group chat innuendos and bullshit.
yeah. You better turn that thing to do not disturb because we're gonna keep you up because we're officially in spring. It's the daylight savings time has you all fucked up, so you're gonna be messed up anyway. And then we're gonna be talking about crap that you don't care about all night long. Actually,
Yeah.
after dark. For I
Yeah.
think maybe the first time in the history of the show, we're actually recording this one after dark. As you can see out Maggle's window there, if you're watching the podcast, which you should, because they're all available to watch on the interwebs. Right behind him, it is dark as fuck.
It is dark. It is dark. It is also daylight savings time. So we lost an hour last week.
Yeah,
That's always pain.
always
for me.
pain.
I hate that.
I like it because I like things what suck.
Things what suck.
Yeah, things
I
what
gotcha.
suck are my favorite things, and so I like it. When it comes around, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to lose it." I'm like, I can't wait to be pissed off and grumpy because I'm old and I like that.
Well, so now that you're pissed off and grumpy, you want to tell everybody why we had to substitute a podcast last month?
I mean, I kind of touched on it because of how old and grumpy I am, and I'm
Yeah.
older and grumpier now because I have a new baby. There's two babies that live here now, and they kind of
Yes.
run the show. As much as I try to like hold them back and be oppressive to them, they pretty much dictate what goes on in this house. So, yeah, babies ruin everything. But just when you think, oh my God, why did I have a baby? Then they like come up to you and be like, I love you, Daddy. And it's like, fuck, why did you do that? Because now it's
I'm
like it's all
attached.
worth it. It's like now I love you, and I was so mad at you, and now I love you. So, babies ruin everything, but babies are also the best. So it's a double-edged sword, literally double-edged sword. But yeah, the babies, they keep me from doing podcast stuff, which I'll admit right now, I'm not prepared for this podcast.
You're always
Um,
prepared. Your life is a series of preparations for this podcast.
Fair enough. Magum is going to be our point man on this one. So if this show sucks, send all your hate tweets to Magnet.
Go to toddsux.com and type in the comment section, Todd Sux. This podcast was trash, and I hate you.
There you go. That's pretty much going to do it in. So Magnet, we got a topic for today, but before we get into that, I feel like we should talk about, we need to catch up because of things that happened that kept us from podcasting. We're missing a few updates, and one of those, probably the most important update, is I need to know what your current Chick-fil-A Rewards membership status is sitting at.
So I was telling many people about this. Many people are aware of this, but here in Richmond, we have Chick-fil-A delivery, and they have their own vehicles. They are little tiny smart cars that drive around and bring you Chick-fil-A to your house. It's incredible. So, that all being said, my reward status is a red member. I am only 1,310 points away from signature status, which means I get a black card.
Now, okay, so once let's be honest, by the time we have another show, you're going to be at that level.
I'm going to be
What does
signature
the
rewards.
What does the black card do for you?
Let's see. It says a lot of things, but the most important being that I earn 13 points per dollar to use for rewards. As a red member, I only get 12.
Oof. You are really you're a sucker. You're getting taken to the bank right now with those 12 points per dollar.
I can increase my buying power by 1/12.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So
Yeah.
I think you need to get on that. You should probably order something now.
Get
so
a
as soon as the
milkshake or
podcast
something.
is
Hurry
finished,
up.
yeah, you should get something now. So as soon as you finish up with this podcast, you can just down it.
There you go. Because they're not
Yeah.
open tomorrow.
No, they're not. because if that tells you what night it is, it's Saturday night, because that's how cool we are.
We are
It's
so
Saturday
cool.
night, and we are sitting here on a Zoom call talking about the
Chick-fil-A.
generational feud and Chick-fil-A and other stuff.
And our prestigious sponsor, Bombas.
Oh yes, Bombas.
Yes,
Tell me
Bombas.
more.
Bombas is the number one best-selling product in the history of Shark Tank. And
Wait. I thought the Scrub Daddy was the best selling
no, it
product
passed
in the
Scrub
history.
Daddy months
What?
ago. Yeah, Bombas socks,
Okay.
and they are you buy one and they give one. So they donate one pair every time you purchase. They'll donate a pair to homeless shelters because why? Because why?
It's probably because homeless people they use them like in prison they use cigarettes as currency. They probably do that with socks, right?
No,
No.
that's not accurate.
Oh,
That is false. Don't slander them. The number one most requested item in homeless shelters is socks.
I did not know that. I wasn't slandering. It's just showing my ignorance. As I'm an ignorant.
You are
So
an ignorant. Yeah.
yeah, I am an ignorant. Well,
So
that's good to
check
know.
it out. If you use the promo code GCHAD, 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 click on the microphone in the top left-hand corner, type in the promo code GCHAD, you'll get a whopping 0.00% off of your next order.
That's a pretty good deal right there.
It
I
is.
mean,
I really think the brass over at Bombas should give us a look and say, these guys really like to give their loyal listeners discounts on our products, but they won't.
we're coming up on a year of pretending to be sponsored by Bombas. We've been doing this show, for a while now, coming up on a year. I'm a moron. I'm an ignorant, is what I've just said. So I didn't look exactly how far, but we're pretty close to a year now. And we have pretended to be sponsored by Bombas on every show.
It's true. It's
So
true.
that's dedication. And I feel like we should probably be rewarded.
And I can't say enough good things about the products that Bombas produces. They really do a good job. I have worn 0 pairs of their socks, so I really feel like a lot of people should get to experience that.
I have also worn 0 pairs of their socks. However, I've really been considering it because of all our fake ad reads. And I actually heard Conan O'Brien do an ad read on his podcast for Bombas this week. And I was like, man, these socks must really be something. And plus, as we've talked, my dad, he's a huge Bombas fan. So I know like an actual real life in-person person that wears Bombas and really likes them. So I'm like, maybe I should do it. Maybe I should just try it. Maybe I should try some Bombas. And then maybe I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it right after we finish. I'm going to go to bombas.com and order a pair of Bombas and use the promo code GCHAD and get 0% off after I click the little radio button and,
Yes.
and say, how did you hear about us? And say a podcast. And when I can't find group chat after dark in the drop-down list, I'm just going to type that promo code in.
Or you
And
could just
nothing will
send them an
happen.
angry tweet and say, why is GCHAD not included in
That's true.
how did you hear about us on your website?
Probably because we're not like part of a podcast radio network, and we are not famous, and we have like 12 subscribers across the world.
Hey, we're multinational,
We are,
internationally
though.
known.
We do get listens overseas, which amazes me. I don't know who finds this thing, but they're probably wondering right now, why am I listening to this? These two idiot Americans talking about they're pretending to be sponsored. Anyway, Bombas, go to Bombas. I'm gonna do it right after we finish up here. I'm just gonna order a pair of Bombas.
You should do it.
I'm gonna order one Bomba and see when they show up, and then hopefully by next podcast, our next show next month, I will be able to give a personal review.
Will you then order the other Bomba after next month's podcast?
It depends on how good the initial Bomba treats me.
Okay. I don't recommend wearing one sock. It doesn't usually work very well.
I feel like I need a control. I need, like it's like a real test here. I need a barefoot, or I could just wear another sock and the Bomba, and then I run them through tests, and then I see which one is the better sock.
I like it.
So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now that we've taken care of business, Michael, there's some really exciting news in our world, because as we've talked, this whole podcast was born out of the pandemic times that we've been living in for over a year now.
Yes.
which is mind-boggling in itself. But many times on this podcast, we've discussed the possibility of a vaccine and the availability of a vaccine. And, we were so excited when the vaccine was on its way. And now someone in our midst right now actually has been vaccinated.
It's not you.
It is not me.
It's me.
It's you.
It was
You've
me
got the
all along.
microchip.
I have a microchip. It was injected into me by an EMT.
Who was actually Bill Gates in disguise.
And I now can count myself among the vaccinated around this earth.
Well, I'm very happy that you are vaccinated.
Yes, it was a harrowing experience. I got it in the morning, and afterwards I felt fine. I was doing my normal thing, and then about 12 hours, almost to the exact time that they put the shot in my arm, I felt like death. I had a fever. I was having chills and body aches, and I think every comforter I could find in my house was on top of me. But I made it through. Got a couple days later, I was just fine and back at work and doing all the normal stuff that everybody does. So if you could kick it for a couple hours and just do your best, I definitely recommend everybody out there get vaccinated if you can, for sure. It's worth it.
You got the Johnson & Johnson, so you're a one and done. You are fully vaccinated. Now, I know it takes a little while to reach its full potential, but you don't have to go back, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm done. Most people have been getting the Moderna or the Pfizer, which is 2 shots, but I went for a Johnson & Johnson. It's the newest one that's in America, and thought it was pretty cool that you only had to get it once. So I think if I think about it, I think that's probably why I felt so bad. But it's probably, I guess there's more of it in there. I'm not really sure exactly.
Well, it's
how
mostly
it works.
kerosene and lighter fluid is what I read online. Like, it's not really.
I had heard that they just put Everclear into syringes, and that was the vaccine for COVID. But
yeah.
Definitely go out there and do it. I know you're beating down the door trying to get your hands on some of this vaccine, but it's hard to find.
I don't have a preference on what shot I get. For me, the best shot is whatever shot I can get, and I'm in the next phase here in our state. I don't know that we're ever going to reach that phase. We've been in this second phase for a long time, but I am very close. And my wife got her first dose of her vaccine this past week, so we are
What
getting
if you
there.
just dress up like Johnny Knoxville in Bad Grandpa and try to go get it taken care of?
Now that's an idea.
Yeah.
That is an idea right there. I could age myself and just show up, and when they're like, "Where's your ID?" Yeah, I'd be like, "I don't know. I'm an old man. I don't have to show you ID. I'm confused. I'm old. Just give me the shot."
I think you should try it.
Do that. Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. After I order my Bamba, I'm gonna look into really expensive prosthesis. Yeah. They sell them. I actually see ads for them on like Instagram all the time. These really, and all I can think of is, my God, that thing has to be so hot because it's like a full like head, and like it even like matches up with their mouth, so they can like talk. Like, they're really convincing looking, and I'm sure they're probably not as good as they are in the ads. But I'm like, all I can think of is like, there's no ventilation in that thing. You're gonna like suffocate yourself
because it's all silicone or rubber
and
or whatever.
It's heavy. Like, anyway, we're getting off topic. Our topic today, chosen by our newly vaccinated, newly red premium Chick-fil-A ultimate blacklist check status member, is the generational feud between millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah, so I think we should tell the audience here, we are both considered millennials. Bennett is a much older millennial than me. He is 45.
I'm what you define as an elder millennial.
Yes.
Because millennials are, I'm pulling up my notes here to make sure I don't fumble this. Millennials were born between 1981 and 1996.
Yeah. So that puts us both in the millennial category. Yes. However, it seems like Gen Z is coming for us.
Apparently they are.
I think they are fed up with our shtick, and they're ready to get rid of us.
Well, Gen Z, that is, and then I found this interesting because I found a few different sources about it. Gen Z, they were born between 1997 and 2012 to 2015, which I thought was odd that there's like this 3-year gap where you could or could not be Gen Z.
Uh,
Um,
yes,
I
I
don't
think it
get
has to
that.
do with like different definitions of that group. Um, but it seems like the whole thing started over on the favorite platform of Gen Z, TikTok. You might hear them called TikTok teens as the uh, alternative to the Gen Z label. But they started roasting us millennials for a couple of different things, but side parts apparently are things girls do. I don't know a lot about that. Um, and what else? Skinny jeans is one.
Skinny jeans, yeah.
Yeah. And then saying the word doggo. Apparently, we're not allowed to say that anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Using the term adulting is something that's really grinding their gears. And then finally, uh, which Harry Potter house we are is a quiz you used to be able to take on the now decrepit BuzzFeed.com. And
Yeah,
it
the
would tell
old
you
folks home that is BuzzFeed.com.
it would tell you which Harry Potter house you were while also stealing all of your personal information and sharing it with the rest of the internet. So Gen Z is coming for us. They're tired of our stuff and they're ready to move on. Um,
Something else I read in my very limited prep. I read apparently depending on what emoji you use
yeah,
for laughing is
that's right.
is another a beef between the two. Uh, and I'll try my best for the audio listeners to describe. You know, there's like the sideways head guy with like the triangle mouth, and he's got tears coming out of his eyes. Apparently, that's what we millennials use as, oh, that shit's funny. Like that's
Yeah,
a really funny,
crying,
yeah,
laughing emoji.
crying, laughing, yeah.
Yeah,
But the Gen Zers, they use the one with like it's like the round mouth and the eyes are mostly closed, and it's just a stream of tears coming down from the
yes.
eyes of the emoji. That to them is a laughing emoji.
And now the Gen Z line of thinking is the something is super funny, like that shit is really funny. The skull. You use a skull.
Yes, because they
And
say I'm dead.
I'm dead.
DED.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Why do we have to be dead in order to
I think
find
it's
something
because
funny?
you know well because it's so funny that it killed you. Like because you know like it's probably because we're going to talk about this. Everything is cyclical. Like it all comes back around popular. Like think about stand-up comedians. When a stand-up comedian does really well, what do they say? I killed.
Ah, yeah.
So it's like it's the new way of saying I killed. Or but the thing is, a stand-up comedian would say they killed when they got a lot of laughs. I see the skull emoji when like I see because at my work I have a couple Gen Zers in a group text. So if I send something really funny there, they will reply with the dead. So it's not that it's them that are dead. Then whatever. I think I lost my point because it's late and I'm old and grouchy. But uh,
Well, so do you prefer the term doggo?
I never was a doggo person as far as that term. I never really used it. I'm aware of it, but
My
I
wife is
did
big
not.
on the word doggo. We're both
Yeah,
millennials, and she likes to say doggo a
I
lot.
just never did. I say dog.
Dog.
Most actually most of the time, uh, in my house, I lump our pets in one, and I say I'm going to feed the critters.
There you go.
So I don't even refer to them individually as their species. I just say the critters. Uh, and sometimes I still slip and say I'm going to feed the dogs, even though we only have one dog. Uh, but I'm feeding two animals, but I just say dogs. So I never was a doggo person. I didn't know that was a thing that the Gen Zers are coming for.
I've also heard that going along with crying, laughing, and I'm dead, when you are expressing laughter in a text message, what's your preferred method of doing that?
I say I type out haha, and I've never been an LOL person, even since the onset of like the old school days of AOL Instant Messenger. I always typed out haha. I for some reason I always hated LOL.
What about ha 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 ha?
If it's really funny, my default that made me laugh is haha, all one word.
I like it.
Um, but if it was really good, and I don't want to send like an emoji or a GIF, which is the proper way to say that, by the way. It's not a GIF.
No, it's a
Uh,
GIF. It is a
no,
GIF.
it's
That
not a
the
GIF.
creator of it calls it a GIF.
Okay, but tell me what the G in GIF stands for.
Graphic.
Graphics. It makes no sense. But even the creator does say it's GIF, but he's obviously a buffoon
Yes,
because
he is. No, I actually
graphic
agree
does
with
not
you.
start with a J.
It's clearly GIF. If it was GIF, it
Anyway,
would start with a J.
yeah, I agree. GIF is peanut butter. I got no problem with peanut butter. I love peanut butter. However, those little animated videos that we send one another, the little animated images, those are GIFs.
GIFs. Yes.
Um,
I'm an
anyway, I
LOL
will
guy.
I will do a ha 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 more if it's really funny and it's not worth a GIF or an emoji. I'll do a bunch of ha ha ha's.
I go with LOL, and it's usually the capital L. Capital L, lowercase o, lowercase l. LOL. Laugh
Okay.
out loud. Because it literally does make me laugh out loud sometimes.
So what is the difference between the two age groups there? Is it the capitalization of the L's,
That's a good
or
question. No, I don't think they use LOL. I think
yeah,
they
I think
use
I think
just the
that's
skull
by the
emoji.
wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just emojis now.
because like I say, LOL's been around a long time, and I haven't
Yeah.
used it pretty much the entirety of its lifespan.
I remember a time where we had to educate Generation X, which is the one before us, what LOL actually stood for,
Hmm.
because they thought it meant several different things.
Yeah, lots of love.
Lots of love.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
What happened? Also, I have to apologize. I'm going to leave that in. I won't be editing that out. I'm drinking my first beer since like December. Um, so I'm sorry. I'm shithouse wasted right now, and I just belched live internationally. So there you go.
Classic, classic.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, apparently it's been popular in the media for everybody to accuse millennials, as we are two millennials sitting here talking, of killing things. I think a long time ago we were killing breakfast because we ate too much avocado toast, which is something that I have never cared for.
I, I, I know that's another one of those things that it's like millennials and their avocado toast, and I don't. I like avocado. I like toast. I don't know that I've ever had them together.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of beer that you're drinking there,
Yeah.
at one time we were accused of killing beer.
What?
Yeah,
I
because
love
we
beer.
we drank hard seltzer and now hard
Uh,
kombucha
ciders
and
and
ciders
okay, I
and
got you.
yeah, lemonades. And they accused us that we were killing beer because our taste changed.
Ooh. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like a nice hard cider. I enjoy kombucha. I have not. I don't think I've ever had an alcoholic kombucha. I do enjoy it though. However, I had a kombucha last night. Um, but I mean, if I'm going to drink an alcoholic drink, it is going to be a beer. Uh, it is going to be a light beer, spelled different because it's brewed different. But as you can see, this is the Christmas can because again, uh,
Nope, it's not kosher to say that it's a holiday can.
excuse me, it is the holiday can. I apologize. I didn't even catch that. So thank you for calling me out. Yeah, that's how long these beers have been sitting in my beer fridge is since December of 2020. So, I should not be drinking these beers. These are cursed beers. Born
we're
on
done with
date.
that now. We're out of there.
I know, and I'm
You need to
I'm
get you
bringing
some
it
hard
back.
kombucha. Get you some hard
Yeah.
kombucha.
Okay, I'll get some hard kombucha, some avocado toast.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
apparently we were accused of killing McDonald's and the NFL, and then
Let's
possibly the housing market. I
let's
think
be
I
honest.
I feel
McDonald's has
like
been killing itself for many, many, many years. McDonald's has been killing itself along with most of America for a very long time now.
McDonald's introduced this chicken sandwich recently, and it is trash compared to the quality golden standard of Chick-fil-A.
Interesting you bring that up. I know we're going off on a tangent here, but we saw the commercial for it the other day, and they're dropping pickles on it, and the bread, like everything about it. I was like, isn't this just a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich? I was like, it's like everything about it is a ripoff of a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, like the number one like classic combo at Chick-fil-A. It's like how can you get away with that? But they're McDonald's. They're an evil
I mean, I
empire.
guess a
So
chicken sandwich is a chicken sandwich, so I don't know, but yeah, that's another war that maybe we'll talk about another
yeah,
time. But I feel like millennials are just a scapegoat for Gen X to accuse us of whatever they want. Um, like, I think the very first thing that was reported on was that we were killing light yogurt. Nobody was buying the regular yogurt. You know, like you go to the
yeah.
store and there's like Dannon
Mhm.
non-fat yogurt, and then there's like Oikos Greek yogurt. We
Yeah.
only would buy the Greek yogurt. They still sell the light yogurt. It's not changed anything.
They still sell it. Somebody's
I,
still eating it.
I think I mean we're just accused of killing this stuff, and then we've experienced something that no other generation has before. Now that COVID is still kicking around out here, but we went through the Great Recession. I think I had just graduated college when it was going on. No, you had just graduated college.
Yes, it was right after I graduated college. Like that was, I think 2008 is when the housing market, like the bubble popped there, and everything kind of tumbled down after.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh great, now I'm out here in the real world looking for a job, and it's all just falling apart.
Well, now we felt that again with COVID. And
Hmm.
it's like, how many generations have done this so often where these two major life circumstances have happened? And it's like, we still get blamed for doing stupid things like killing light yogurt. Like, are they just looking for a way to accuse us of doing things that they don't particularly care for? Probably.
Well, I think it's definitely, you always blame the new generation for, the generation prior always blames the next generation. The old, oh, kids today. That's the way it goes, and that's essentially what we're experiencing right now between millennials and Gen Z is
Why are we getting so much hate? Why is Gen Z hating on us so bad?
because we're old.
Yeah, we're not cool.
We're not cool. And see, that's the thing that I really interesting. The one article I read about this for prep, uh, somebody had laid it out, and I thought it was like, man, this is a really good point. Uh, Young people love to make fun of old people. They always have, and the reason why is because the power that they have, like especially like the younger you are, the only power you have over someone older than you is pop culture and what's hip and what's cool and what's hot in the street. Like what is currently trendy, because we just start falling out of that, and that's ultimately what the big feud here is. The point in the article that I read was you're not going to out internet uh, a generation that grew up on the internet. Now, I consider my generation to have mostly grown up on the internet.
Yeah.
However,
We used a very crude internet in the beginning.
yeah, it's the internet is a completely different place than when I got on it.
Yeah.
So and that was the in this article it said that Gen Z and millennials, they're making their points, and the Gen Zers are doing it more cleverly. They're making their points much more cleverly, and it's like, yeah, because you're not going to out internet an entire generation that grew up on the current internet,
Yeah.
the landscape that it is now. They
Right.
know the tools. It's like you're not gonna show up to somebody's house and have a tactical advantage in a fight, because they're gonna know where everything is. So that's basically what this article was saying, is you're gonna get beat by the internet generation because you were only partially you were the internet pioneers. You weren't the internet generation.
Do you think the hate is warranted?
I think it's actually not so much hate, um, as it is, again, because for however many years now, the term millennial has been, a buzzword, and those are the young, the bleeding hearts, the cancel culture, the woke culture,
Yeah.
do all this, do all that. Well, and if you recall, a couple years ago, the okay boomer, um, which was
In the before times,
millennials,
that was the
yeah,
thing we used.
yeah, millennials lashing out against baby boomers, um, because that was a thing. Old people, well, you got to cut them down. I think what's happening now is millennials are getting cut down by Gen Z, and rather than be like, haha, that's funny, we should
We're all
be
sensies.
kind of this way. Now it's becoming this way. So, like, the Karens are that the millennials have been shaming for however long now. They're becoming the Karens by getting outraged about the middle part, that was popular in the 90s, that the kids are bringing back now, and they're
Yeah.
all pissed off about it. So we're getting, millennials are becoming Karens and boomers, and they're siding with the generations that they've been denigrating for however the last many years, because now there's the new batch that are coming after them.
So, are you going to go get all of your clothes from high school and start wearing them around?
I was
'Cause it's cool now.
unaware. I was unaware that things would come back around. So I did not keep my Jinko jeans or my puka shell necklace or my, like, I am thinking about getting frosted tips. I need a haircut, so I'm thinking about getting my frosted tips back.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't keep any of my '90s wear. So if I were to buy it now, I'd have to get the Old Navy retro, stuff.
I asked my wife if I could grow my Bama bangs back out, and she wouldn't let me.
Yeah,
So I'm stuck with regular, you know,
yeah.
adult. Again, we got to do some adulting here. So can't.
Oh, you're so unhip.
I feel like it's unwarranted though. We didn't do anything to them. We're just existing. We like to say the word doggo. It sounds stupid, but just leave us alone, man.
See, I think you're borderline Karen right there, because you're offended by it, and that's, I think, the point of it is, well, the point of the article I read, it was actually written by a Gen Zer, and I think his or her point, I don't know, I didn't look at who wrote it. The point the author was trying to make was, hey, we're just having a little bit of fun, and it's turning into, these two generations were, not that long ago, kind of meant to be one of empathy and fellowship and things, and now, because of this, because of a little bit of pot stirring, it's like, no, screw them. And his point was, or the author's point basically was, that millennials are all bent out of shape about it because the news outlets picked up on it,
Yeah.
and it became a much bigger deal than it actually was and is. So it's basically turning, again, it's forcing the millennials to become uh amongst the ranks of the boomers, that
I
they were
feel
just
like
making fun of. They're
yeah,
siding with them now.
it's just repeating like what Gen X has done to the millennials, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
So like maybe as millennials we need to be like, you got us,
Yeah,
you know?
self-deprecating humor.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
And just let it go. I mean, I feel like it's pretty difficult to be raised in a place where your stuff is all on the internet. Whether or
oh
not you
yeah,
want it there, it's there.
yeah,
And you have to kind of like keep that at the back of your mind, everything you do. So we can empathize with them a little bit. I really kind of don't understand some of the things that Gen Z has done, like eating Tide Pods or like the whole people doing TikToks. I don't really understand that.
yeah.
Um, and like what TikTok is. I feel like TikTok is just a cheap knockoff of Vine.
Well, I was gonna say, but you loved Vine, which people didn't understand Vine either. TikTok is just Vine for a new generation. Like, literally, that's all it is. I
Vine
think they're
is
not.
far superior.
I don't think they're. I don't know, because I'm not a TikToker, but I don't know if they're limited, and because Vines were very limited, and it was like, what,
9
8
seconds.
seconds or
Yeah.
8 9 seconds, something like that. Yeah. See, I never really got Vine. I kind of did, but I was like, well, I know about it, but I didn't really get into it. You loved Vines. Like,
Vine
I
is
don't know how many
amazing.
Vine compilations that you made me watch over the years. But it's the same thing. It's just, it's TikTok. Vine, or TikTok is Vine for Gen Z.
So are we ever going to do something that's new? Or is it always going to be the old stuff coming back? Like low rise jeans are back now, and skinny jeans are out. They were in for us when we were cool.
It's kind
You
of
know,
like, I mean, I would say definitely like the dawning of the internet was something new. That was different. That was, we'd never had something like that, this mass communication tool where you can have information in seconds. The problem is we can't really innovate ourselves out of that at this point. Like, there are cool things on the horizon, sure. We're trying to do civilian space travel, and there's stuff that hasn't been done. But I think ultimately at this point it's a lot like, you remember when smartphones became a thing, and
yeah.
and all of a sudden there would be, okay, they have these capabilities and that's pretty cool, but then one would come out and it had some new innovative feature that really blew all the others out of the water. You're like, wow, I got to get this new phone because none of these can do that. Well, phones have innovated themselves into
They
a
all do the
corner.
same thing. Yeah.
They all are literally the same thing with a different brand on them, and the only thing that they can tout is an operating system or a camera. Like, that's all we can do at this point is it's got a faster processor and it has a better camera than the last one. So like, phones have innovated themselves into a corner, and I
Well,
think that's probably where we are internet wise.
I feel like we need to remember that these stupid generational titles are fake.
Yeah.
Like they're just made up so that marketing people can say, I got X amount of this audience,
Hmm. I,
you
I
know?
sell to this many Gen Zers.
Right.
Yeah.
So like what, I guess as we start to turn the corner towards the end of our wonderful podcast here, what can we as millennials do for Gen Z to make them feel less alienated as time goes on?
I mean, I
Or are they just going to make fun of us because we're getting less and less cool as time goes on?
that's the thing, that it's going to be like we're talking, everything is cyclical. This is the natural order of things, the circle of life, if you will, if you like the Lion King. uh this is how it goes, man. When As soon as you start
For
saying,
Gen Z out there, The Lion King was a famous movie in the 90s that was made. It was animated.
not the John Favreau version.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, like, I mean, that's just the way it goes. And I catch myself doing old man things, saying old man things. Like, I caught myself years ago thinking, like, man, music now is a lot different than, like, I don't like this music. This isn't the music I like. Like, and that's, as soon as you start thinking of what you liked when you were a kid or when you were young, you're already on that slippery slope of, you're on the way out as far as
Like, oh,
hipness.
back in my day.
Exactly. That's, yeah, you might not say back in my day, but as huge as nostalgia is for everybody, when you prefer whatever you liked as a kid to whatever's out there new, well, hey, then time is passing you by, man. And this new generation is gonna be like, okay, cool. You like,
Okay. Okay, millennial.
yeah, exactly. You like that cartoon from the 80s? Well, weird, because there's this new jank that's much better. You got to watch this. And you refuse, and they refuse, and you smash up into each other, and there's these walls.
It,
And
it
that's the way it
reminds
always
me
has been.
of an episode of South Park when Randy Marsh was convinced that he was not old and he was still cool. And so he listened to the kids' music, and
Yes.
it literally was fart noises
Yeah.
coming out. And
Yes.
he convinced himself that he loved the music.
Yes.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's us right now as
That's
millennials.
it is, and it's a good point, because South Park was, I mean, it was this new innovative thing. It was this groundbreaking show when I was a kid. It's
Yeah.
still around, and I actually saw people asking why. I was reading a review of their latest pandemic special, and people are like, "Why is this show even still on?" Like cable's still a thing. So it's
Which
interesting,
that
but
was another thing we were supposed to have killed was cable. It's still around, obviously. So
yeah, I think cable's gonna die a long, slow death, kind of like movie theaters. They're like somehow still hanging on. They were dying for a while, but they like, I really thought the pandemic was the death toll for them, but they're still there. But yeah, I think it's just, there's not much we can do. I mean, obviously, like, I'm not gonna just like shut down somebody younger than me because they're younger than me yet, because I'm not that old yet. But eventually, that's probably going to happen, and I won't really have much control over it.
well, I feel like we've been blackballed by the generation before us, and they like vilified and blamed us for everything that was what they didn't like. So
Yeah,
like I don't want to continue doing that to the next generation.
it's. I'm telling you, man.
Just
It's
get it old.
it's think of a wagon wheel and the spokes. One's on top, then another one. Like, that's just, it goes around and around, and we're coming up. We're going to be the bottom wagon wheel here pretty soon, and we're going to be blaming
No,
them
we're
for
still cool,
everything.
man. We're still cool.
Well, you're a little younger than me, so you might still be cool, but
I'm not cool.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because we can't avoid it. It's just the natural order of things. The generation prior blames the new generation for the problems because they don't understand what needs to be done to solve this problem. This is
Right.
broad strokes, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it's always been, and it's no matter what. I think this is the shot heard around the world for the war between the millennials and Gen Z is they started poking fun, and millennials are not taking kindly to it because
That's
they're
because
old and they're grumpy.
we're too sensitive, and
Yeah,
I think we still have wounds from everything that's happened.
yeah,
Pandemic, Great Recession, being told we've killed everything that Gen X really cared for, apparently.
yeah.
Um, but you can pry my coffee from my cold, dead hands.
Your iced coffee from Panera.
Yes, iced coffee from Panera. You can pry it from my cold, dead hands and try to get my doggo away from me. I will always be a proud millennial.
Well, I gotta say, I can't say I'm a proud millennial because I still can't believe that I am a millennial. I think I'm just a guy who's living his life.
Well, you
But
now have to deal with Generation Alpha,
I
so
do. I have
enjoy
two
that.
two generation alphas growing up in my house. So who knows what they're gonna hate? Oh man, they're once they're at this point,
They're gonna hate podcasts.
they're be like, can you believe how many thousands and thousands and billions of hours there are of podcasts because they thought people really wanted to hear what they had to say. My dad had a podcast. Can you believe that? It's so embarrassing. My
Yeah,
dad had a podcast.
yeah, and they're gonna be wearing skinny jeans, but you know,
Yeah,
I
skinny
think
jeans. Yeah.
I think this is a war that will never end.
Nope.
So
It doesn't matter the name of the generation. That's just the way it's going to go. And again, you pointed out to me before we started, there's these two douchebags that came up with this whole naming scheme for the generations just to sell it to marketing people so they can say they've captured the newest generation. And I think it's bullshit.
yes, yes. And on that note, something else that's not very cool anymore. I'm David Pumpkins. Any questions?
Well, there he goes. The oldest millennial I've ever known. Magum J. Pumpkins. I thank you for joining us here at Group Chat After Dark. We always enjoy your company, especially you. I mean, all those other guys, all the other listeners, they're okay. We don't mind their support, but you know who I'm talking to. We really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to visit our pretend sponsor, Bombas, and you can get 0% off your order if you use promo code GCHAD, which is not a real thing. You can use that to get 0% off your order, and when you buy a pair of Bombas, they donate a pair of Bombas to a homeless shelter. please visit us at ridethatdonkeyproductions.com, at DukeHouston.com, at ToddSux.com. We got them all. We got all kinds of places. You can go there and buy a bunch of crap with our logo slapped on it. It's not going to be good. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be really poorly made. But hey, you're going to be supporting us. And who knows, we might be able to actually like put some money into this podcast. Michael might finally be able to move out of his house. Probably not, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks again for your support. We can't wait to see you next month on Group Chat After Dark.